So I want you to have no doubt about it whatsoever. You are living amongst pure, unadulterated evil. It's that plain and simple. And politics is leading the charge. Of course it is. Absolute pure evil. And you ain't seen nothing. I know, not grammatically correct, but that wasn't the point. Because until you see these newly released words and images, you ain't seen nothing yet. Demonic Democrat bombshells abounded this week. Mainstream media, silent. Of course they are. But once you see what I'm about to present to you, let there be no doubt. When Biden says we're in a battle for the soul of the nation, we are. We absolutely are. The problem is, they're just trying to steal our souls. Plain and simple. Now, before we go any further, a huge favor from you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, take just a few seconds to do that. Also put up a membership platform here. It's your means of supporting me. One way to support me to continue to bring you these videos, or if you want another way. And as I've talked to you about, go to restrictedrepublic.com, the platform Lisa Haven and I created to bring you all the news, unfiltered, uncensored, no commercials, no interruptions whatsoever. Just fact-based reporting with full references at all times. And right now, to take advantage of that, I told you just 2 days I was going to offer this. By popular demand, it's back. Type in Real Journalism at monthly checkout. $3.99 a month for 2 years plus 14 days for free. It will be the best investment you make today. Get over to restrictedrepublic.com. Again, Real Journalism, monthly checkout. But now, let's get back to the story. So we're going to start and we're going to end with the same two things. Let's start here with Thomas Jefferson. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government. And I'm going to show you why that time is now. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. So many of you continually asking, well, Justice, what do we do? There are so many things we have to do right now. It's tough to narrow it down to just one. Support the right candidates. Push the right messages. Resist against tyranny. Resist against evil. Identify it. Scream from your rooftops. Don't be shy. Let everyone know what's happening. And so what I'll do today for you is I'll give you just a few examples of what you should be shouting about, because so many people don't realize, because they still, for whatever reason, follow mainstream media, and they're not presented with information like this. So let's jump into it. I'll arm you with some things for the weekend. President Biden announces team to lead monkeypox response. Dr. Dimitri. I hope you've heard about him. If you've been following mainstream media, you've seen the more serious pictures, but have you seen the others? Somebody leading the monkeypox response that wears a pentagram in photo after photo after photo. Oh, I know, the most diverse cabinet ever. Of course, he failed to mention the evil symbolism in some cases would come along with it. And that's not something you turn a blind eye to. And you shouldn't turn a blind eye to this either. True Social, barred from Google Play over content moderation. But yet, the Memphis shooter is able to live stream on Facebook the 5-hour shooting. There is no equality anymore. This is a promotion of evil. A decision, a conscious decision as to who stays and who goes, what's shown, what's not shown. There is no equaling the scales of justice anymore. That's long since been gone. Do you know about this Alabama Senate bill? Vulnerable Child Compassion and Protection Act prohibits Gender change therapy for minors prohibits withholding of certain related information from parents. You know who opposes this? This was signed into law by Alabama's governor on April 8, 2022, the Vulnerable Child Act prohibiting the administration of puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, or surgical procedures performed on minors if the practice is performed for the purposes of attempting to alter the appearance of or affirming the minor's perception of his or her gender identity. Were you aware of this at all? Who opposes it? The Biden administration. These subpoenas targeting opponents of chemical castration prove Biden is the real culture war villain. The plaintiffs, in X vs. Tucker, argue the Vulnerable Child Act violates the constitutional rights to obtain medical treatment for their children. Just throw out any sense of normalcy for a moment, because you won't be able to absorb this video unless you do. Because normalcy has left the building. Kathy Griffin coming out. If you don't want a civil war, vote for Democrats in November. If you do, vote Republican. Coming from the same lady that presented this image to the world. But, again, it's all about those ultra MAGAs, right? They're the evil. They're the crime doers. They're the ones promoting violence. They're the problem.
To everyone celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility, I want you to know that your president sees you. Jill, Kamala, Doug, our entire administration sees you for who you are, made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support.
What are you insinuating there, Joe? That nobody else would accept or allow or provide? Now, you see, my position's simple. You make your own choices, whatever those choices may be. But do not promote your ideology by force through the government to my children. That's all. And don't allow any government funding to support that. Fairly simple principle, right? And vice versa. If I believe in something, I have the right to, but I don't expect government support to be able to believe in it. That's an equal application, something that doesn't exist anymore. No, it is a forced ideology now, even when it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley. That your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancy? I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this? Where
A world devoid of normalcy and common sense. Evil and idiocracy are no longer mutually exclusive in this new landscape we live. But if you think she's alone, here's a worse fact for you. Nearly 1 in 4 Democratic voters believe men can get pregnant. No, they really did say that. I know. Just hold on a second. All of you, hold on a second. Evil abounds. Lack of common sense abounds. Democrat, Nevada governor, Steve Sisolak appointed, accused, what now happened? Oh, he appointed the accused murderer. He appointed him. Robert Tells, who now is accused of murdering the Nevada journalist. Wow. MAGAs are really the problem here.
And he said something remarkable that I agree with. He said, we could reduce our prison population by a third and not make anyone less safe.
Seriously, I had to take Advil before I did this broadcast. Been compiling these over the week. That's right, just reduce your prison population by a third. Come on, everyone, come on out. Let's go. Let's go. Everything will be just fine. And as you get older, you'll commit less crime. That was another statement he made. I know you've heard about Fetterman. I know you have. He appears twice today, by the way. But, actually, no, I'm sorry. He appears 3 times. John Fetterman's Board of Pardons secretary calls convicted police officer murderer her buddy, her friend, her pal. When I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, and you can't fear these folks. You can't fear them. Throw blessings upon them that they may change. It's what you need to do. Don't add insult on top of insult when the officials like Robert Tells are arrested. The MAGA are the worst, right? And then we have Dr. Anya. I heard the chief monarch of a thieving, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating. MAGAs are the problem. You bad MAGAs. You're a threat to democracy. Nothing I've shown you, that's not a threat to democracy. That's perfectly normal. Promotion of evil, good. MAGA, bad.
We're literally in the battle for America's soul. I know I've been saying it for a year and a half, but I mean it. Extreme MAGA Republicans just don't threaten our personal and economic rights. They embrace political violence. Think about it. They refuse to accept the will of the people. They threaten our very democracy.
They keep fighting the evil that's going on. They keep fighting for normalcy. They keep fighting for the Constitution. They won't accept the despicable nature of evil that's upon us. They just won't go along with the plan. Personal. Took some artistic license there in what really needed to be said, but unfortunately it's not only the Democrats doing this. You know who's on your screen? Well, she represents such horrible things as holding the Biden administration accountable, lowering taxes, securing our borders, protecting the Second Amendment, defending life, backing police forces. I mean, it's disgusting.
Is Caroline Leavitt a threat? We're not sure. We thought we would talk to her tonight. Caroline Leavitt, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Tucker. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So what is this? So it's a congressional district in New Hampshire, right? It's one congressional district out of 435. Mm-hmm. Why is this race so nasty?
Why is this race so nasty, he asks. Defending Main Street Super PAC, a Republican super PAC, opposing Caroline Leavitt. Who runs the super PAC? Who's in charge besides the Republicans? Kevin McCarthy fighting against, that's right, one of what some would want to declare is his own, but that's not the case. Now they're devouring themselves, of course, an opportunity to take over everything. Why wouldn't we? Because it's a uniparty. It's a singular party that no longer represents we the people. AOC made her appearance this week also. Again. And sowing the seeds of dissension. Of course she is. This on GQ, she states, but at the same time, my experience here has given me a front row seat to how deeply and unconsciously, as well as consciously, so many people in this country hate women. And they hate women of color. People ask me about the future, and realistically, I can't even tell you if I'm going to be alive in September. Absolutely irresponsible, useless, horrific statement. Made for one purpose only. To drum up the rhetoric of the divide and conquer technique that has continued to go on. I can't even tell you if I'm going to be alive in September. She stated that, of course she did. But it's permeating every facet of our lives. It's all-consuming. They want it to be all-consuming. They don't want you to be able to breathe without an agenda being force-fed to you. Drag kids on stage. You see it right there on this promotional flyer. Who's supporting this? Let's see. Well, we got Albertsons, Citibank, Jack Daniels, Wells Fargo, Hewlett-Packard, Target, Simplot, T-Mobile. Looks like everyone is, huh? What does anyone stand for anymore? The woke agenda is demolishing this nation. Demolishing it.
Are there any limits on abortion you would find appropriate?
I don't believe so, no. I believe that is between a woman.
Just going to stop there. No. There is no limits on abortion whatsoever, all the way up to the moment of birth. Now, there's no evil here. It's the ultra magas causing all the issues. Seriously. I wish somebody else, I wish somebody larger than me on some mainstream station would put this up so America could really see what's going on. Because Democrats allegedly have all the answers. Everything they're going for is for the good of the nation, the people, the world, the globe. California blackouts have begun. Thanks, green energy. Wow. Every time they try to implement one of their plans, it's a mass failure. Just like I reported on yesterday. Whose big cities are in the worst disarray? Now called hellholes by many. Well, that's right. It's not the ultra-mega cities. No, it's Democrats. But you see, we're not alone in this battle of good versus evil. Other countries now, as you've seen, protests. Across Indonesia, as anger mounts over fuel price increases, Italians burn energy bills and besiege town hall in protest over spiraling costs. Chile roundly rejects woke constitution in national vote. 70,000 protests in Prague. And of course, we won't forget about those Dutch farmers. Well, you see, people don't stay asleep. What do we do, Justice? Watch what people are doing. They're getting up, they're protesting, they're active, they're out of their lazy boys. And once a few people see a few people do that, it becomes more people. And if more people take those peaceful actions, it becomes more. And pretty soon the spectacle is so large, the power is so ambitious that, those little seedy folks in government will be like, oh, maybe I should kind of tweak my ways a bit here. Maybe I should go along with we the people. But right now, here's what they see. Nothing. Now they see a couple of us rumbling here on the microphone, but outside of that, do they see mass groups joining together to show that they're displeased with what's happening? Did they see 10s, 20s, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people grouped together peacefully, expressing what their will is? No, they don't. And you expect them to change? What can we do? A few have tried to do a few things. Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jeff Duncan. There has been 6 impeachment proceedings requested to begin that all fell on deaf ears. No one would move them forward. 6 to date. Which asks the question, why have these articles of impeachment gone unsponsored? Unsponsored. Because it's a uniparty. No less than 6 resolutions by 3 different House representatives have been filed containing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden. Co-sponsors to these resolutions range from 0 to 7. 7 being the maximum number. It is a one-party system. A system that has only propagated and promoted evil. A system that wants you to fear it. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And remember, Thomas Jefferson warned, the Constitution provided for whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you believe the government right now is destroying life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, if so, those articles of impeachment should have been sponsored. It is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government. Justice, what can I do? Write your congressman. Write your senator over and over and over and over again, demanding impeachment proceedings begin. That is the constitutional way to uproot an evil and unjust government, if that is your belief. If it's not, carry on. I'll tell you what the consequences will be very quickly. Destruction of life as you know it. Your freedoms, your liberties will be gone, shredded up. And you can continue to sit back and ask, what was I supposed to do? There's one answer you should never give, which is nothing. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.